Nitya Shanti. It's an interactive session. We're on our second part series of practice. For those of you who joined us last week on our topic of inspiration, thank you so much. We are deeply grateful to Nitya Shanti ji for offering his time to be with us tonight. And we're here for another inspiring session. So before we go on and introduce Nitya Shanti ji, I wanted to talk a little bit about who we are. So we are the Heart to Heart Foundation, and what we do is we provide free heart surgeries to children around the world. So for those of you who would like to know more information about Heart to Heart Foundation, you can visit us at h2h.foundation. And what we're doing right now is we understand that the world is going through some really tough times. And although we help support children, we also wanted to help support our inner child and to help support our community. That is why we are offering the Love Dissolves Fear series to better help support all of us as we go through this journey. Sorry. So a little bit about Nitya Shanti ji before I hand over it to him, with the reason why we are all here. So Nitya Shanti ji is an internationally acclaimed teacher of joyful teaching and consciousness living. He compiled an MBA. He had completed an MBA in Jamshedpur and worked in corporate world. He's an internationally respected spiritual teacher, seminar leader, and facilitator, committed to sharing practical wisdom teachings for happiness and awakening with people in joyful and transformational ways. Blending a deep study of ancient teachings along with rich harvest of contemporary learnings, Nitya Shanti specializes in facilitating profound shifts and awareness for people to release limitations and awaken latent potentials for a balanced and fulfilling life. So this is about him, and if you want to learn more information about him, he'll be happy to share that with all of us. So without further ado and without taking further time away, I'd like Nitya Shanti ji to lead today's session.
Thank you so much, Shelly. And just give me a second to get my video on. Wonderful. So good to be here with all of you attending from all over the world. Last time's session was the same topic, and we explored inspirational teachings around the theme of how love dissolves fear. And I imagine many of you are also part of that. And if you weren't, that's totally all right. This is a complete session in itself. I'm really grateful for an opportunity to share these teachings that have touched my life very deeply. And it's really a privilege for me to get a chance to keep this flame going on. The Buddha said that when you learn something that is truly beneficial to you, it is nice to not only practice it for yourself, but to also appropriately share it forward. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity that I'm getting in today's session. And my hope is that from today's session, whatever you find useful, whatever you find helpful, whatever truly resonates, you should trust what resonates. Not every single thing I say is always appropriate for everybody. We're all in different stages of our journey. Different things appeal to us at different times. I've certainly seen for myself, something that made no sense, had no appeal for me at one point, later on made a whole lot of sense and had a huge appeal. And I couldn't even understand how is it that at one point I did not value this. And so this does happen in our journey. So today also what I share with you, and today's session is an interactive session. It's also a practical session. It's more of a practice-based session. We're also going to have a little review of what we did last time, so we can catch up and get back, involve everybody who was also joined for the first time today. And so from this, I'd like you to take one or two or three things and really apply it in your life. Make it your own. And as you do this, you will, whether you teach it or not, your very presence, you will start to share this with other people. You will illumine those around you in your family, in your community, and in your world. in a way, we are all frequency holders. It's like your telephone SIM card has a very precise frequency, and someone from around the world can dial you in. Each one of us is a frequency holder. And one really powerful question is, what do beings experience in my presence? What do beings experience in my presence? It's a very powerful question to ask ourselves. Are we going about life unintentionally? Or are we going about life with more clarity and with deliberate intention? It's interesting to experience this. So there are some of us who, my teacher used to joke about this, that when some people enter the room, people smile. And there are certain people, when they leave the room, that's when people smile. So what kind of people are we? Many of us, we have these invisible spikes that are coming out from us. Invisible spikes of judgment. Invisible spikes of always demanding and expecting people to be a certain way. So when such people with long invisible spikes enter a room, everyone goes, ouch. And when they leave the room, everyone smiles. So the purpose of our journey is to reduce these invisible spikes, make them really tiny, and at one point completely dissolve the spikes and replace these spikes with beautiful rays of love and light. Something like the morning sun. When it touches our skin, the morning sun feels just right. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. It's like the sun is kissing your skin. And I've actually had the privilege of meeting some people. Their presence is like that. Their presence is like you're in the presence of morning sunlight. How beautiful that is, how powerful that is. And I remember some of my spiritual teachers, they would literally walk into the room and I would feel that their glow is touching me. That's how powerful it felt. So I realized that each of us is a frequency holder, each of us in this world, whether we say something or not. Our very being creates an impact on the environment. Today, the practice session, we're going to start with a short centering practice. So wherever you are, I'd like you to just close your eyes for about a minute. Empty yourself. Empty yourself. To empty yourself means to make yourself available to this moment of life. And emptying yourself of past and future, expectations, all the things you think you know, shifting from knowledge to knowing. Knowing is alive. Knowledge is dead. And shift your attention from the head to the heart. Feel your heart. When the attention comes to the heart, the consciousness immediately shifts. Just allow yourself in today's session to receive whatever you are meant to receive. Stay with whatever resonates. Whatever is not clear, there'll be a chance for question answer towards the end. And you can, even during the session, write down questions in the Q&A section. I'll be taking up the questions toward the end of the session. You'll all take a nice, slow, deep breath. And smile. Slowly open your eyes. And say with me, how wonderful. We're going to be using this phrase in today's session. How wonderful. All right, so before I continue with today's session, I'd like you to use the chat window. You should all have a chat window. And in that chat window, I'd like you to type out, those of you who were here last time, something you remember from last time. I'm going to spend 2-3 minutes just having a quick review of whatever we remember from last time. And with that, we're going to launch into today's session. So any of you who were here for last time's session, type out any learnings from last time. So Sajita says, silent is equal to listen. The same letters in the word silent and listen. Neha is talking about deep love. We talked about 3 things last time: deep listening, deep love, and deep silence. Fantastic. So that's the same thing. And Vipul is saying, yeah, exactly. Deep listening, deep silence, deep love. Very nice. Gaurav, Devika, right, exactly. Sukanya is saying, canceling negative thoughts. So whenever you have a low quality thought, it's like a computer program that's really damaging your computer more than helping. And you put an antivirus and you remove it. So cancel is like an antivirus. So whenever you feel you're not good enough, life is not good enough, and during today's session, whenever you feel Nitya is not good enough, cancel. Come out of all that kind of limited thinking. The story of the 60,000 rats. Yeah, that's right, Mera. The video of last time is available, so we can't go through every single story from last time, but we'll share the link with you. Shelly, I invite you to just look up that link and we'll share it before we end so people can access last time's recording as well. I'm the sky, everything else is better. Samir, that's a great one. Neha is reminding us, I'm telling myself repeatedly, I'm the sky and everything else is better. Fantastic. Heart Love says to listen deeply. The awesomeness game, David remembers that. And I shared a little bit about my journey and how I had, at the age of 16, learned meditation and gone on to live with a Buddhist monk for some years. And so Gayatri is remembering that. And Kavita is saying, if you want to go far, yeah, there's a nice African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, then go together, right? And Puneet says the story of the mice in the house, representing our thoughts, and the cat, which is awareness, right? Doubt precedes clarity. Pinky says, great faith, great doubt, great awakening. Fantastic. Prerna is saying Nitya was a very cute monk. I agree. And Vaibhav, culture is built on stories. That's right. Amol, our purpose in life is to be us. That's true. Instead of trying to be anybody else, can we find out? Because you see, everybody else is already taken. You are here to add a unique flavor in this world. So can you get in touch with what's the unique frequency? What is your signature frequency that you're here to add to the music, the chorus of the world? We're just going to check on the things that are unique now. Presence is the gateway to essence. That's lovely, Sunita. That's really powerful. Presence is the gateway to essence. Living in the present moment, slowing down to the speed of life, Vaibhav says, exactly. Instead of moving at the speed of thought all the time, can we move at the speed of life? So inviting everyone in today's session, move at the speed of life. Fantastic. So many wonderful reminders. No need to thank when bhiksha is received. When we scratch our arm, it does not thank us. That's really powerful. You know, in India, it's so embedded. It's so common. Of course, nowadays they use Google Maps and things, but it was so common to stop the car and ask someone for help. And they leave whatever they're doing, they'll come and help you, and you will ask for directions. We don't thank. It's understood. It is that person feels that they've done their job, and we feel we've got it. Although it's still nice to say thank you. But it's so common in our country to just do things, and there's no sense of expecting a thank you. In fact, the word in Hindi for thank you, shukriya, we hardly ever use it, right? Because it's just understood that it's part of this oneness. Although it is wonderful to also say thank you. Great. Let me just see a few other things, and then we can continue. Love dissolves fear. Yes, beautiful, Dawn. That's exactly what this is about. Holly, intention is more important than action. Fascinating. The bit on listening. I don't complain about my life, Sudha says, because someone right now is dreaming of my life. Beautiful. Dhanyavad, Nalini. Yeah, that's the word in Hindi. Dhanyavad. So thank you. Lovely. That's the good review from last time. And today's session is about practices. Practices for love in action and allowing love to dissolve the fear. The first thing I just want to say is that, you know, whatever your understanding of love, because love is one of those things which has different meanings for different people. whatever your understanding of love, however you feel it, understand it, know it, you cannot simultaneously be in a state of love and a state of anxiety or fear. It's not possible. It's one of the most powerful learnings in our life, that your mind can only hold one concept, one thought, one idea at a time. It cannot hold two of them simultaneously. It can switch very quickly, but only one at a time. You can switch one to the other very quickly, but it's just one at a time. So in that state, when you're in that state of love, of goodwill, of embracing and welcoming and non-judgment, or however you understand love, in that moment, there cannot be anxiety, there cannot be fear. It's just that thing. So what I learned from my teachers is attention, intention together reveals your foundation. So attention means, like right now, if I'm speaking to all of you through my computer, giving my full attention to what I'm doing right now, paying attention to what is happening in my experience, around me through my sense doors, and within me through the inner knowing, in a state of attention, in a state of mindfulness, clarity starts to arise. I love this teaching. One of my friends, he went to our teacher and he said, I'm so confused, nothing's working out, I'm so full of questions, so full of doubts. Even when you answer my question, I get new questions. So there's so much of doubt. And my teacher smiled and said, to know that you're confused is itself clarity. I just love that. To know that you're confused is clarity. So attention to what is happening now. Awareness to what is happening now. Right? So when I'm in a state of awareness, state of clarity, in that moment, distraction cannot be there. Dilution of attention cannot be there. What is. So attention. And then intention. And intention can include things like gratitude, things like love, things like compassion, things like appreciation. Right? The intention. And in that moment, that is the whole of your experience. So attention plus intention starts to reveal our foundation. So that actually summarizes everything that I teach, and that this is what I'm trying to convey. I'm trying to convey to each one of us the real power of the pause. What is the pause? Right now, pause. Just stop. Step off the train of thought, step off the speed of thought, and come to the speed of life. Come to the speed of now. So this is the power of pause. When you're listening to someone, are you really listening, or are you lost in your own world? So again, pause. And I believe the power of pause is the number one most powerful self-development, self-improvement tool that you will ever come across. You'll come across many ideas, many concepts, many things. But the power of pause is the most important one. Why? Because in that power of pause, everything you've ever learned in your life, all your knowledge, all your intuition, all your knowing is available to you right there. In that pause between stimulus and response is a gap. That's where wisdom lives. So this is attention, the power of pause, and intention. So now when you do think, where are you coming from? So here's a nice intention. I wish you happiness. So why am I on this call? Am I here to impress you with my knowledge? Am I here to make you like me? Do I want you to praise me? Or do I want to have some other ulterior motive? I should increase my mailing list. I should get all your email addresses. What is my agenda here? And it's important for me to become aware of my agenda. What is the agenda that's operating? So here's a very simple agenda. I wish you happiness. There are certain things that touched my life, that touched my heart. And I would love to share some of these things with all of you today. I wish you happiness. And then that's the frequency that I'm coming to this call with. It's nice for us to become aware of our intention. I sometimes work with school teachers and college teachers. And one of the most powerful exercises I do with them is to remind them of their original inspiration for becoming a teacher. Why did they really become a teacher? What inspires them? And for some people, actually, it was not even very inspiring. It was just a job. They just took it because there was nothing else available. Right? Fine. So that in this moment, can there be a better intention apart from, I'm just in this to make the money? That's fine. Money is important. But can there be a higher intention? So when I get them in touch with their intention, their inspiration, and I say, now, every time before you enter the class, take a breath, take a moment to remind yourself, what is your intention? The quality of that class is bound to go up, because that intention will then clarify and direct your actions. So the clearer your attention, the more beautiful your intention, the more powerful the results. And so attention, intention starts to reveal the foundation, your own foundation, and the foundation of everyone and everything around you. It actually gives you, in this world that is always changing, you're never quite sure what to rely on. This creates a foundation. Your attention and intention in this samsara, this ocean of life. You don't know what to hold on to in this ocean of comings and goings, meetings and partings. This becomes a foundation. This becomes solid ground, something we can really rely on. So today's session, we're going to continue with practices that we can do from morning to evening and in a variety of situations to bring this understanding into action. So one of the things that we can do each day is to make what I call a mayurma. I want to show you the symbol. I learned this beautiful symbol from one of my teachers. Just give me a second. Here we are. So I'm going to show you a little slide and just see if you can. Okay, it's not really. This is. Oh, here we are. Now it works. So this is a beautiful symbol called mayurma. It's like a heart with an infinity on it. Use it like this. So it's a healing symbol that I learned from a wonderful teacher in Australia. And it goes like this. I'd like you all to take your hands up like this. And then slowly bring them down. I want you to draw a heart in the air. Put one palm on top of the other. And then make an infinity symbol. Second is bigger. And third is huge. And bring it to your heart and say with me, Mayurma. Mayurma means loving wishes, good wishes for all. Now we're going to do it 3 times. First time, you'll wish yourself infinite love, infinite blessings. Second time, those around you, your family, your friends, the people you know. And third time, for everyone in the world. And if you can even do it standing up. Right now, I'm already seated, so I'm going to do it seated, but you can even stand up and do the symbol. Very fun, very powerful. Okay, let's do this. Take your hands up. And wishing yourself a lot of love, a wonderful day. Make an infinity symbol. Lying down 8. Second is bigger. And third is huge. And come to your heart and say with me, Mayurma. Sending good wishes to yourself. Second time, you're going to do it. Sending good wishes to everyone we know. Our family, our friends, our loved ones, people we work with. Take your hands up. Make an even bigger Mayurma. Bigger heart. Multiply by infinity. Sending good wishes. Family and friends. And say with me, Mayurma. Wonderful. Third time. For everyone in the world, take your hands up. Even bigger heart. Everyone in the world, known and unknown, near and far, all beings, and Mayurma. Good wishes for them. Take a moment, close your eyes. Deep breath. and you can open your eyes. Beautiful. So this is a very simple example. Oh, you're only seeing my shared screen. Oh, that's interesting. There should be a way to pin my video. Oh, that's interesting. All right. Let me just, now that I put the video on, let me show it to you. All right. So it goes like this. Your hands, take your hands out like that, and make a big heart, and then make an infinity symbol like this. Huge. And come to your heart and Mayurma, the wishes for all. And that's how it goes. And you can even make a mini Mayurma. You can take 2 fingers, bring them down, make a cute heart, and multiply by infinity 3 times. Mayurma. So the idea here is when thoughts, words, and actions come together, it's really, really powerful. So when I'm having the intention in my mind, wishing happiness for everyone, and I'm saying the words Mayurma, I'm literally making a heart in the air, and I do it 3 times, or you can even do it 1 in all the directions. North, south, east, west, above and below. And even on my own heart, I can make this Mayurma symbol. It's a way of sending loving wishes to everybody. And you know, it's fun. I teach this, and yeah, even children love to learn this. And then the whole family in the morning, they get up and they send loving wishes for all. Or maybe a child has got an exam, and just to encourage the child, the whole family gathers around and makes a nice Mayurma, sending good wishes. Or sometimes, you know, I have these live calls, and someone shares, Nitya, I'm going through a really rough patch. Life is really tough right now. So we'll all pause for a minute and send loving wishes. Then we'll open our eyes and we'll make a nice Mayurma. So it's just a fun way of putting love into action. And I've been sharing this with friends for so long, and we've all been practicing this. And it's a way of actually implementing the power of love into our life. Another really fun version of this is I call it the zap game. Zap game. So zap game works like this. You're walking or you're going in a car, and the idea is anyone you see, any stranger you see, you decide you're going to zap them. What does it mean you zap them? You make the intention that from that moment onwards, this person is going to have an amazing day. So we play this in the car sometimes, going in the car. And, you know, that lady over there looks a little bit sad, looks a little bit depressed. So zap. And zap means the loving intention that from this moment onwards, that person's going to have a really good day. Now, are they actually going to have a good day? We don't know. But the fact that you made that intention, you made that loving wish, it changes your own state of consciousness, right? So it's a loving intention, it's a zap game. And you know, if you do this long enough, you start getting the confidence that you can zap people out of the haze that they're in. You can get them out of that depressing world that they're in, and you can invite them to step back into the sunlight. My teacher would walk around the monastery, and he would ask people, instead of saying, how are you doing today? He would ask them, how are you suffering today? Powerful question. How are you suffering today? Because he knows all of us are very good we're like PhDs at creating suffering. Out of nothing, we create suffering. Out of nothing, we create suffering. Like I was, having a chat with my dad yesterday, and here we are. You know, the lockdown is going on. We have food to eat. We have shelter. We have electricity. We have internet. We have running water. We have everything. And my dad is really concerned that he has a 2-wheeler and it's running low on fuel. It's running low on fuel. I said, Dad, come on. You know, it's all right. We'll fill fuel. Not that you're going anywhere. He said, no, if I don't start it, the battery will go down. And so I understand where he's coming from. He's creating suffering for himself. I said, let's find a way I'll transfer fuel from my bike to your bike, from the car to your bike. We'll find a way to do it. And the thing is, we are experts at creating suffering for ourselves. Instead of noticing what's right in our relationships, what's right in our life, we keep on focusing on what's wrong and what's missing all the time. So for all of those thoughts, cancel, and let's come back to focusing on what is right, what has been right, and what can be right in our journey. Zap game. Zap game is to zap people, at least make the intention, I wish you happiness. With a lovely teaching from Richard Gere. And he says that, he's an actor of course, and he says that he learned the simple teaching that whoever he would meet, he would internally have the thought, I wish you happiness. I wish you happiness. You know, it changes something. When you approach any meeting, any interaction with the thought, I wish you happiness, something shifts. Why? Because most of us in this world, we are seeking happiness. Please give me something. Please give me something. Please give me some validation. Please give me some appreciation. Please give me your attention. When I'm speaking, please listen to me, right? Please give, please give. And we are suckers. We're wanting to suck energy and attention from other people. But what's it like to shift from always seeking, seeking, seeking to spreading? Something really shifts. In your whole energy field, something shifts. When you come with the intention, I seek nothing from you. I want nothing from you. And I'm here. And I'm available. And of course, if you do need something, not that it's bad to want or need, you can make your needs clear. That's fine. But to every single moment be in a state of neediness, something is off about that. So be complete within yourself. Be complete within yourself and the loving intention. So one of the most powerful things I learned in my spiritual journey is the teaching of the 4 Brahma Viharas. Yeah, some people are saying, if you have any questions, please post them in the question answer section. And we will definitely keep the last 20 minutes or half an hour of today's session addressing your questions as we're going through this. So 4 Brahma Viharas, you can call them 4 flavors of love. And this is one of the most powerful things I've learned in my journey. So what are the 4? Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, and Upeksha. What is Maitri? Maitri is loving kindness. Or you could even say loving friendliness. Maitri. Karuna. Karuna is compassion. Mudita. Mudita is appreciative joy, rejoicing in the happiness of others. And Upeksha. Upeksha is a balanced mind that is not affected by the ups and downs of life, that remains constant, remains balanced, not so easily shaken by the ups and downs of life. And these 4 are considered the highest states of emotional well-being. And they're considered boundless states, limitless states, endless states. There is no limit to how much we can practice and develop and incline towards these 4 states. So Ananta or infinite, Ananta Maitri, Ananta Karuna, Ananta Mudita, Ananta Upeksha. So I was fascinated when I came across this teaching. The first time I learned it, we spent 2 full hours developing Maitri, loving kindness. 2 full hours. May I be happy and well. May you be happy and well. May people I barely know, acquaintances in my life, may they be happy and well. May people who've hurt and harmed me, who've troubled me, intentionally or unintentionally, may they also be happy and well. And may all beings be happy and well. Now, can you imagine for 2 full hours, developing this mind state, single attention, single focus, 2 full hours. May I be happy, may you be happy, may all be happy, again and again and again. And what happened is, when you think something again and again, again and again, it starts to create a feeling. And as you feel that feeling, it gets you into a different state of being. So think it till you feel it, and feel it till you are it. That's the journey. So in this 2-hour practice, something very deep shifted inside of me. It almost felt like my heart that was closed like a fist began to slowly blossom and open up like a beautiful flower. And I really felt my heart opening, and all the, the reason it's closed is we don't want to get hurt. Because sometimes we've overextended ourselves, we've reached out, and it was the opposite of what we expected. We came sharing good news, and people shut us down, say, oh, that's nothing, or that's not good. Or we came sharing our friendship, and people didn't respond or reciprocate. And so, no, I don't want to get hurt again. So then we shut our heart down. So that happened to me as well. And this was at the age of 16. I'd gone through this meditation course, and we spent 2 hours practicing loving kindness, Maitri Bhavana. Metta Bhavana, it's called in Pali language, which is loving kindness, loving wishes for all. And I would say it was like, a dam broke. A dam broke, and there was a gush. There was a gush of pure energy, a pure flow of loving intention that I did not even realize it. I had tears streaming down my eyes. It was a very powerful experience. And I was able to forgive people in my life that I had been judging. I was able to let go of baggage I had been carrying for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. My goodness. And it all happened in those 2 hours. So I realized the power of this. Oh my goodness. Such a deep healing happened in such a short period of time. I felt like I was floating in the air after that. So since then, I have practiced this, and these 4 Brahma Viharas: loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy, and equanimity of balanced mind. And these four have become like very good friends. And they're always surrounding me. In Hindi, we have a nice doha. And I'll say it in Hindi first and I'll translate it for you. दुखी देख मन करुणा जागे ऐसा ब्रह्म विहार हो सुखी देख मन मुदिता जागे ऐसा ब्रह्म विहार हो सबके प्रति मैत्री जागे ऐसा ब्रह्म विहार हो हर स्थिति में उपेक्षा रहे ऐसा ब्रह्म विहार हो ऐसा ब्रह्म विहार. So when you see someone suffering, the response to someone who's suffering, compassion. Let compassion arise. Whenever I see suffering in this lifetime, in others, or even in myself, let compassion arise, karuna arise. Whenever I see happiness, people are doing well, they're prospering, they have abundance of all kinds. May appreciative joy arise. Instead of feeling jealous and contracting myself, let me open up with appreciative joy. How wonderful, how wonderful. May you have even more of that. May you have even more of that. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy with you. In fact, your happiness is my happiness. Mudita Brahma Vihar. Sukhi dekh man mudita jage. When you see someone who's happy and well, you share, you rejoice in their happiness. Let your happiness multiply. The second one. The third one, sabke prati maitri jage. Towards everyone, a foundation, I wish you happiness. I wish you happiness. I like this teaching. I love everyone. I love everyone. I like only a few. And I find it very realistic. You cannot in this world like every single person, but you can love every single person. You see, as personalities, we don't get along with everybody. We all have our likes and dislikes, our preferences, our values. But at a foundational level, we can wish everyone happiness. No matter how much we disagree with them, we can wish them happiness. I'm remembering a story from this teacher, Ram Das, wonderful teacher who passed away recently. And he was sharing about this. And he said that he has an altar where he prays every morning. And he's learned from all religions. He's learned from everybody. So on his altar, there is a picture of Jesus Christ. There is a picture of Krishna. There is a picture or a statue of Buddha. And there's also a picture back in the day when he told the story, a picture of George Bush. So he'd wake up in the morning and he would look and say, "Good morning, Jesus." And he'd look at Krishna, "Good morning, Krishna." He'd look at the picture of Buddha, "Good morning, Buddha." He'd look at George Bush, "Hi, George." Because he didn't really like George Bush. But the reason he kept his picture there was he wanted to reach a place in his own practice where he could equally, with equal enthusiasm, say, "Good morning, Jesus. Good morning, Krishna. Good morning, Buddha. Good morning, George." And he says, I want to reach a place where I can love everyone equally. I may not like everyone equally, but I want to learn to love everyone equally. And that's the spirit of Maitri. Loving wishes for all. Loving wishes for all. And the last one is Upeksha, a balanced mind. In today's world, language changes over time. In today's language, Upeksha is understood as indifference. But it's not actually indifference. It's not that I don't care, it's that I don't mind. Because I understand the nature of life. It's a dreamlike nature of life. I'm going to do my best and I'm going to leave the rest. I'm not going to be so hung up when unwanted things happen, when wanted things don't happen. I'm going to take it as prasad. I'm going to take it as a gift of life. With a lovely term in is it Latin or is it Greek? Amor fati. Amor fati, which is a Stoic teaching, which means I love my fate. Instead of loving my imagination of how my life should be, I am a lover of reality. Whatever shows up in my fate, I love it. So this is equanimity. This is the state of upeksha, a balanced mind. You can also call it sthita pragya, not so easily shaken by the ups and downs of life. So right now, I'd like us all to practice these 4 Brahma Viharas for a few minutes each. Please sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Take a few deeper breaths. Settle in. And starting with the first Brahma Vihara, Maitri, loving kindness. In your own heart, you can repeat, may I be happy. May I be truly happy. May I be happy for no reason. This is really important. We start with ourselves. If we're not able to wish ourselves happiness, if we don't feel that we deserve happiness, then how can we genuinely, wholeheartedly wish happiness for others? So may I be happy. Mera mangal ho. Mera mangal ho. May you be happy. You includes everyone on the call today. You includes everyone that you know, everyone in the world. May you be happy, especially your friends and family, the people who are there in your life. If you can't wish them happiness, then how can we go beyond that? Let's start with those we know. May you be happy. May you be truly happy. Can you think of the face of a friend or a family member? Think of a face and see them smiling and happy. May you be happy. May you be happy for no reason. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all be truly happy. May all beings, known and unknown, near and far, seen and unseen, large and small, human and non-human, may all beings throughout existence be truly happy. Be happy for no reason. And forget every other thought in this world. Just stay with this simple thought perspective. May all beings in the entire universe be happy for no reason. The happiness of being. Come to the second Brahma Vihara, compassion, starting with yourself. May I be free of suffering. May I be free from suffering. May I be free from every kind of suffering, mental, emotional, any kind of suffering. May I be free. I deserve to be free from suffering. Karuna, karuna, compassion. Think of someone in your life who's going through a hard time. Family or friend or anybody else, maybe a neighbor. Think of one such person. Actually, everyone has their own challenges. You could think of just about anyone. Let's see who comes up to mind. And as you think of this person, may you be free from suffering. May you be completely free from suffering. May you be instantly free from suffering. May you be permanently free from all this suffering. Powerful compassion arises for this person. Karuna Brahma Vihar. May all beings, near and far, known and unknown, seen and unseen, small and large, human and non-human, may all beings throughout existence be completely and entirely and immediately and permanently liberated from all suffering. And forget every other thought but this thought. And think it till you feel it. Feel it till you aren't. The entire body mind vibrating with compassion, karuna. And I'm going to keep it simpler now. You understand how this goes. Coming to the third Brahma Vihara, mudita, appreciative joy. So now towards yourself, appreciative joy, appreciation and joy for all that you have, all the good fortune that you have, all the support that you have, all the ways in which life has been so kind to you, so supportive to you. Full of rejoicing for your own good karma, the fruits of the karma, all the actions you put into place that have led to, even for you to be on this call today. Mudita, mudita. How wonderful this is. And same for someone else in your life. Think of someone else in your life and rejoice in their happiness. Wish them even more of the same. Even more good fortune, good health, all the goodness of life. And now multiply this by infinity, all beings, near and far, known and unknown, seen and unseen, large and small, human and non-human, all beings throughout existence. Mudita Brahma Vihar, appreciative joy, sympathetic joy. Your happiness is my happiness. As you expand, I expand. And may you continue to expand in every possible way into infinity. And forget every other thought except this thought. And the last Brahma Vihara, equanimity. And all the ups and downs of your life, wishing yourself equanimity, a steady mind, a steady heart, inner stability, inner clarity, equanimity, with the understanding everything that arises also passes away. And so there's no need to jump up and down. There's no need to get all despondent and upset. The knots got created by themselves, let them resolve themselves. The problems got created by themselves, let them resolve themselves. You step back. You enjoy this whole process. With the deep confidence that everything works out. Everything works itself out. This is all like a game. This is all like God playing hide and seek with herself. And wishing others also a balanced state of mind, especially in these difficult times. Not getting so agitated, keeping a steady mind, steady heart, equanimity, upeksha brahma vihar. Think of someone in your life and see them as equanimous, inwardly settled, and for all beings, known and unknown, seen and unseen, human and non-human, near and far, large and small, all beings in existence. I wish you equanimity, which is actually the highest happiness. Sthita pragya, unshaken by the vicissitudes of life. Puttasaloka dhammehi, chittang yassana kampati, asokan virajan kheman, etang mangalam uttamam. This is the highest blessing. A mind that is unshaken with the ups and downs of life, with the gains and the loss and the praise and the blame and the comings and the goings. Chittang yassana kampati. The mind does not tremble. The heart does not tremble. Steady, alert, secure, stainless. Whatever will be, will be. Kesara Sara, a steady mind. We will face the music. Bring it on. That's the attitude of these 4 Brahma Viharas. Bring it on. Bring everything on. We are so stable. We are so secure. With loving kindness and compassion and appreciative joy and equanimity, we can face anything that life throws at us. In fact, far from life affecting us, these 4 Brahma Viharas transform whatever comes into our experience. Taking a nice deep breath, everyone. And release. Take a second deeper breath. And release. Take a third integrating breath. And slowly release. I'd like you to rub your palms together. Bring them over your eyes, over your face. Beautiful. How wonderful this is. How wonderful. So we just practiced the 4 Brahma Viharas, Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha, the highest states of well-being, emotional well-being, stability. This completely dissolves fear. This completely dissolves anxiety. You cannot have more than one thought at a time. So if you have to think, then think any one of these 4 and go deep into them. Ready? Think it till you feel it till you become it. And let this dissolve every other obstruction, every other challenge, everything else in your life. It has to dissolve it. Nothing can stand up. Yeah. So one more thing I want to share before I get into questions and really interacting with all of you. I would like you to, I found these 4 levels of consciousness, you can call it, right? So one is the level of consciousness where you're always focusing on what you don't want. Don't want, don't like, don't want, don't like. So don't want and don't like in yourself, don't like and don't want in people around you, don't want and don't like in life. Many of us inadvertently give a lot of attention to what we don't want and don't like, don't want and don't like. And you all know how that feels like. You know what it tastes like. Focusing all day, all the time on what I don't want, don't like. This is not nice, that's not nice, this is not nice, that's not nice. It's not a very pleasant state of being. So when you always focus on what you don't want and don't like, and you're not able to change it, beyond your control, beyond your influence, you become a victim. So this is the level of consciousness, the victim level of consciousness, focusing always on what you don't like and don't want. Can't do anything about it. In fact, some people, you ask them, what do you want? They'll say, that's the problem. I don't know what I want. But all of these people know what they don't want. They always have an idea what they don't want. So how do you find out what you want? Second level of consciousness, it's the opposite of what you don't want. So you don't want to have a job that requires you to travel 2 hours a day in traffic. All right. So what do you want? You want to work in a place that's close to your home. Maybe you can walk down, you can cycle down. All right. That's what you want. You don't want a household where there's a lot of screaming and shouting and unpleasantness all the time. All right. That's what you don't want. What do you want? You want a household where there is laughter and smiles and understanding and forgiveness and giving each other space and accepting each other and loving each other and recognizing and valuing our differences, all right, that's what you want. It's the opposite of what you don't want. You don't want to be a couch potato all day, being so sedentary. What you do want, a little bit more active lifestyle, exercising, moving. Throughout the day, OTMs, it's called opportunities to move, finding opportunities to move. That's what you want. So shift from what you don't want to what you really want. Step one. This is a shift from what is called tamasic to rajasic. Tamasic is heavy, dull, inert. Rajasic is energetic. It is ambitious. It is about wanting to make things happen, right? Now go one step further. Don't just want it. Bless it. So feel it like it's already so. So this is where the power of love comes in. So what would you feel like if it's already happened? So if you already had the work that you love and it was close to you and it was, you love the colleague, it was less like work and more like family, and you really felt every single day that you're making a positive contribution in the world. If you were in a family where you loved coming home and you really enjoyed each other's company, and you, what did that feel like? What did that be like? If you were really healthy and really active and really fit and you had consistent energy levels throughout the day and you were eating a healthy diet and you were exercising and you slept the right amount and you had a very pleasant environment and you enjoyed being in nature, what would that feel like? So come into the feeling state of having it now. The feeling state of having it now is called sattvic. So tamasic, heavy, dull, inert. Rajasic, energetic, wanting to make things happen. Sattvic, like it's already so. So feel the feeling. So instead of doing things for joy, you're doing things from joy. And so this is the power of love. Start activating the power of love with the intentions you have for yourself and for your life, and every dimension of life you can imagine. You know, I find that the life I'm leading today, I'm amazed. I often have to pinch myself. These are intentions I made for myself years back. I got really intentional about the kind of work I want to do, the kind of people I want to be surrounded by, the kind of things I want to achieve, the kind of contribution I want to make. I got really intense. I got really specific about it. And I asked myself, how would that feel? And I practiced the state of feeling it like it's already so. Feel it before it happens. Love it before it happens. Even with health and healing, can you so vividly see yourself as already healed and love that image and love that feeling and really love it so strongly, so deeply that you actually lose track of how much time has passed? In fact, whatever the kind of home you want to live in, the kind of contribution you want to make, the kind of people you want to be surrounded by, think it and feel it so strongly. You're not sure, were you doing that for 2 minutes? Were you doing that for 10 minutes? Were you doing that for half an hour, for 1 hour? You actually lose track of space-time. So being a conscious creator. Now it's like your mind has become one with God's mind. And amazing things happen. Amazing things happen in a way that you cannot explain, in a way that it goes beyond logical, rational, linear thinking. It's like you've activated a whole different level of consciousness. So when I said earlier, attention and intention, what I really meant was you convert what you don't want in what you really want. You convert what you really want into a state of being. And the state of being could be love, could be gratitude, could be compassion, could be any of the Brahma Viharas we talked about, appreciative joy, a balanced mind. You convert it into a state of being, pure joy. And then from that, you come into the simplicity of just this. Being here now, I am. And I am is beyond description. It's not I am this and I am that, just pure I am. That which knows. You've shifted from being a person to being a presence. Just I am. Behind every problem is a possibility. Behind possibility is great joy. Behind the joy is the present. Behind the present is my true nature, who I really am. My true nature, my essence. So you see, problems spur us on to getting clear about what we want. Getting clear about what we want and the energy we put to it makes us realize that what I'm seeking is not out there. It's already in here. It's already available to me. So instead of being a beggar in this world, let me be a king in this world. Let me go ahead and grant myself what I'm wanting the world to grant me. I grant it to myself. I bless myself with it. It is already so. It is already so. I'm a secret agent of God already, sir. And then from that state, come into a simplicity of being. So this is attention. The simplicity of being is attention. And the high quality intentions and the high quality of consciousness, love and compassion and gratitude and all of these things. This is intention. And attention, intention together reveal your foundation. That's who you really are. That's your true nature. That is beyond all description. Nothing you can describe can really reveal what it is. Because it is beyond all of this and that. It is beyond definitions. This will reveal itself as you go along. It's like in Hindi we say gunge ka gud. You can taste it, but you can't describe it. You can know it. It's who you are. It's your essence. And that's really the point of all of this. You know, all this drama that's going on in the world. It is all a gigantic school to help us all wake up and learn the lesson we're here to learn. It's like we've come into a dream. We've come into a computer program. We've come into a simulation. And the whole purpose of the simulation is to wake us up to who we really are. That's the way I see it. So Amor Fati, I love my fate. I love whatever is showing up because it is not a mistake, it is not an accident. It is exactly what I need at this point in my life. At this point in the curriculum of my life, this is exactly what I need for me to wake up. In other words, life is not randomly happening to me. Life is happening for me, for my awakening, for my embodiment. For me to really, it's like life is like my mother. My mother will sometimes be very kind and sometimes be very firm. In fact, the other day, my mother looked at me and said, Nitya, finish your food. And I'm, you know, it's being, I found it so hilarious that even now, my mother tells me, finish your food, you left something in your plate, finish it up. So life is here. Life is not vindictive, it is corrective. So whatever is happening in your life, you take it as that. It is prasad. It is like a divine gift, divine food. You take it with that attitude. Now everything falls into place and you will experience, no matter what upheavals are going on in the world, for you, life will be pretty smooth. For you, you'll be like surrounded in a bubble of grace. You will go through it quite cleanly, quite effortlessly. And not only will you live well, you will leave well. Just the other day, my friend Narsi was telling me how beautifully his mother just passed away a week back. How beautifully, how smoothly she transitioned. She had refused hospitalization. She had refused very intensive medical interventions. She said, no, I'm in my 80s now. I think she was 89 when she passed away. I don't want all this complication. I've lived a good life. Let me go in peace. And her legs were becoming weak, but mentally she was very alert. All the other faculties were going well. And she told her son, I think my time is coming. And he thought she's just saying that. But, you know, she asked for some coffee in the evening. She drank her coffee. And she asked for some water. She drank her water. And that was it. She passed away. His mother and his father both passed away at the age of 89. And both of them knew the time was coming. So when you live well and you live conscientiously and you live consciously and you do the best that you can to share your gifts in this world, you know, like they say, you come as a baby, you come with closed fists. And you're here to share all the gifts that you have, all the talent that you have. You're here to give. You give it away, give it away, give it away. What's that nice teaching? That you are here to find your gift. The joy of life is to find your gift. And the purpose of life is to give it away, to share your gift in this world. And then they transition so beautifully. So we've learned to live and we've learned to leave. The Buddha actually says those who practice these 4 Brahma Viharas that we talked about, he talked specifically about Maitri. You get all these benefits. You sleep well. You have pleasant dreams. You wake up with a smile. In fact, somebody messaged me just today saying, Nitya, I'm having anxiety when I wake up in the morning. Well, then practice loving kindness. Practice these Brahma Viharas. You will wake up with a smile. And people will like you. Even non-human beings will like you. You know, you go to someone's house, they've got a barking dog. You will have zero fear with that barking dog. Because in a state of loving kindness, even non-human beings love you. And they may bark, the dog may bark initially, but very quickly the dog will pick up, this is a nice one. This is a nice human being. And the dog will relax. Because even non-human beings like you. You lose your fear of ghosts. You lose your fear of all these superstitions that you have. What will these things do? Black cat crosses your road. Loving kindness to the black cat. Nothing's going to happen. You bless the black cat. You do all these superstitions that you have. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Nothing is going to happen. You're going to be just fine. Right? And the Buddha even says, So as death approaches, your mind is stable. You know a promotion is coming up. You've lived, as a human being, you've lived your life at a higher than human level, actually. Because most of humanity is lost in all of its drama, but you've gone above it. Nothing to fear. And if you do not penetrate higher, you'll be born in the Brahma realm, a realm which is just one level before full awakening. And from there, you get fully awakened. These are the promises the Buddha makes for those who practice these teachings. And we've seen this happen. This is not just a concept. In my time, I've been meditating from the age of 16. I have seen people transition so beautifully because they were living and practicing what we're talking about today. Love dissolves fear. They have lived beautifully and they have left consciously. So that is the promise. And that is I would say, it is a seal that this is bound to be so. Don't just take my word for it. Apply the simple thing we've talked about today. Apply this nice Mayurma symbol. Wish happiness for each other. Greet people with love. Look into their eyes. In India, we say namaste. The highest in me bows to the highest in you. We smile when we look into people's eyes. Let everyone who comes into your company, your experience, your vicinity, may they leave feeling ennobled. May they be zapped. And may you really wish them wholeheartedly. I wish you happiness. In fact, everyone on the call today, my deep inner wishes, whether you like it or not, know it or not, understand it or not, a powerful seed has been planted inside of you. And this seed, at the right time, in the right way, is going to blossom into full awakening. That's my deepest intention. It's going to blossom into awakening. So if I'm coming with that intention, that through my interaction, through these teachings, a seed gets planted, and that leads to amazing, amazing beauty in their life. Don't want gets transformed into really want gets transformed into a state of consciousness. That state of consciousness gets transformed into pure being. And then from that being, you wake up to who you really are. What a beautiful journey of life this is and this can be. Let us now take some questions. So, Shelley, if you want to help me with some questions, I can also open the question section. If you want to ask, anybody wants to ask some questions as well, put them in the question section.
Yeah, the Q&A chat feature that's in Zoom, you can post your questions in that. And any comments you have, you put them in the chat box. One of the questions that someone asked was, how do you have love? Can you have love without attachments? Because they're have fear of losing their loved ones.
Yeah, that's true. So actually, I'm going to say something a little radical, and I'm going to say that attachment is the opposite of love. Attachment is the opposite of love. What is attachment? Holding on tight. What is love? Setting free. What is attachment? What can you give me? What is love? I want the best for you. What is attachment? It's based on memory. It's based on expectation. In the past, you've done this for me. Keep giving me this. Keep giving me this. I expect it from you. What is love? I just adore you the way you are. I'm amazed by you as a divine being in human form. So I would actually go so far as to say, and of course, and we and I experience attachment. We're not trying to make anything bad in this world. Yes, I experience attachment. I experience clinginess, and I realize I have a choice in that moment. Yes, it is the sense of holding on, but there's something even more beautiful about relaxing and just coming to a state of pure appreciation. Maitri, I wish you happiness. Karuna, may you be free from suffering. Mudita, I rejoice in your goodness, in your gladness, in your abundance. And Upeksha, my mind is balanced. So let us, I would say it is an approximation, but it's not the real thing, right? It's like, it's not really nourishing you. That attachment actually keeps you attached. The funny thing is, in our attachment, we're not even able to express our love. We're lost in this memory of how it should be, how it could be, how it would be. It's too much of sentimentality. The wonderful word for love in Greek language is agape. And agape means to let be. Let them be. Rejoice in who they are, the way they are. So I invite you to upgrade from attachment to love. Instead of holding on so tight, relax that. Invite your heart to open and give them freedom. One of my teachers, Byron Katie, for me, she's a great example of this. Somebody asked her, what will happen if your husband tells you he's fallen in love with someone else? She was quiet for a moment. She said, I'll help him pack his bags. Whose business is it who he loves? His business. Whose business is it who I love? That's my business. Right? So I will continue to love him, but I love him in a different way now. I found that so powerful. That can I love someone so much that if they really tell me that I'm going to be happier with somebody else, all right, then I wish you happiness. And yes, it may contract me a little bit, but deep down, all I want is your happiness. So relaxing this clinginess, relaxing is tightness around it. So I invite us to upgrade from attachment to love, and from love to, even the 4 Brahma Viharas, go to the highest state of love, the 4 Brahma Viharas. It's like the 4 flavors of love. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha. And I would say, let's all upgrade like this. It gives us a higher quality of life. Shelly?
Yeah, another question is, how do we practice these in relationships, all the things that we went through about putting love into action in different ways? Sometimes you can be in really tough relationships, so how do you put that into practice?
Yeah, I think it's, we will apply it through simple things like the way we speak, the way we behave, the way we listen. You're always getting feedback, aren't you? In your relationships, you're getting feedback. If you're really tuning in, you can tell by the way people look. You can tell by the way they respond to you, how you are is landing on them. One of my teachers, Benjamin Zander, had a very powerful intention for himself. He says, my intention is to go through life in such a way that I'm always surrounded by people with shiny eyes. I love that, to be surrounded by people with shiny eyes. So in other words, when you enter your home, do people have shiny eyes to see you, or does the shine disappear from their eyes when they see you? When you go to work, do people have shiny eyes when they see you, or does the shine disappear from their eyes? In other words, who are you being? How do you feel in my presence? What do I evoke in my presence? So you're constantly getting feedback. And now as you reflect, you will ask yourself, okay, so what is it in the way I think? What is it in my attitude? What is it in my way of speaking? What is it in my way of listening or maybe interrupting? What is it in my way of being? How is it impacting the people around me? I invite us to have growth mindset. Fixed mindset is I'm like this, take it or leave it. This is the way I am. Such people do not have a high quality of life. Growth mindset. Growth mindset is I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly adapting. I'm constantly improving. And there are certain things that work and certain things that don't work. And I'm willing to learn from it. I'm willing to grow from it. So the main things would be in your interactions to be attentive, to listen deeply, not just to what they're saying, but listen to what they're feeling. Ask them, what are you, PQR, pause, question, check. Have you understood what they're saying? Is this what you're saying? Is this what you're feeling? Is this what you're wanting? Have I understood? Tell me more. And then reflect back what you understood. Tremendous growth will happen. And perhaps, we're talking about love today, perhaps all our relationships, not just sitting on a meditation cushion and imagining your practice. That's also beautiful. That clarifies. I would call that preparation. That's all preparation. All this meditation on Brahma Viharas, that's preparation. It's in your relationships, that's the real practice. That's the place where the rubber hits the road. And in the people you work with or who work for you, or the neighbors that you have, the people in your home, the friends that you have, this is where the rubber hits the road. And have a growth mindset, reflect, introspect, take the best and leave the rest, right? And keep on this journey of constantly improving, adapting. Love it's like an intelligence. It's going to come inside of you. It's going to take over, right? What would love do? In this situation, what would love do? In this situation, what would wisdom do? Between stimulus and response is a gap. Access that gap and let the gap take over. In the gap, there's no ego. In this gap, there's no defensiveness. In this gap, there's just wonder, there's curiosity, there's openness. It makes things so beautiful. And it's very hard for conflicts to survive in this situation. It's very hard for misunderstandings to last for a long time in this situation. In this state of being, things dissolve very fast. Instead of holding on to stuff for years and years, months and months, you're able to resolve them, usually the same day, usually in a matter of hours, in a matter of minutes. You resolve it, and you keep moving forward. You have a higher quality of life. So that's what I would say about this.
Just to piggyback on that, somebody asked if you are reflecting and you are feeling that annoyance within yourself, that can happen. How do you practice love, or how do you reopen and reconnect with that heart energy, especially when dealing with relationships?
Yeah, come to your center. You see, my favorite example is most buildings these days, they have pre-installed within them, they have these fire detection systems. So they have a smoke alarm and they'll have sprinklers. So most well-designed buildings, even elevators, uh, there'll be these signs saying in case of a fire, don't use the elevator, take the steps. So they have already preempted that there might be a fire someday. So they have signs saying exit is here, and this is the sprinkler system. All of this, it's all pre done. So now in your relationships, you know that with certain people you're going to get irritated. With certain people you're going to feel disconnected. With certain people they're going to press those buttons. You know it beforehand. So why are you waiting for it to happen? Why can't you preempt it? So this is your homework. You got to clean up on your side beforehand. There's a practice called the 5-minute miracle, where for 5 minutes you imagine a miracle has happened in that relationship. Maybe you're not getting along with your teenage son. All right. So now you close your eyes, and for 5 minutes you imagine a miracle has happened in your relationship with your son. And there's such open-heartedness. There's clear communication. He smiles, you smile. You do things that you love with each other. How would that feel? So practice the feeling of having it now. So with your boss and with your neighbor and with the other people in your life, you do the 5-minute miracle. You imagine a miracle has already occurred, and how would that feel? And now you've done your homework. It's like you've pre-installed. You know that there's a likelihood of fire over here. You pre-install all the systems. May not happen overnight. May not be that you do it once, it changes. I would like you to do this practice for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. They say do it for 21 days. Do it for a month. You do your work. A miracle is bound to happen. I don't know if the relationship will change or not. In most cases, it does change. But one thing I know for sure, your consciousness will change. And that person will not be able to impinge on you the way that they used to. Then you allow them to be who they are. You have, the same behavior that used to rile you up. That same behavior, now you have compassion. You actually find it cute. You actually find it funny. It's really remarkable, the change that happens within us. So when we do our homework, when we clean up our act, yatha drishti tatha shrishti. You've never experienced the outer world. You've only experienced your own perception, your own assumption, your own expectations, your own image of the outer world. We have no clue what the outer world is. Right now, I'm imagining I'm seeing my laptop and all of this. I'm not. Light waves are hitting the eyes. They're getting encoded and coming inside the brain. I have never experienced the outer world. I've only experienced something inside the brain. My whole life. I have no clue what the outer world is. So I've never met you, and you have never met me. We're only meeting our assumptions, our presumptions. Let's clean that up. Relationships are a mirror for us. If you use it like a mirror, it's a very powerful way. It is perhaps the most powerful way of awakening and truly coming out of all the distortions that we have within us. It's always holding up a mirror to each one of us.
Great answers. How do we figure out the action and path we should take to feel a certain way? If I want to be working in something where I am happy, provided for, and also spreading joy and hope for others, how do I figure out that work, and how should I actually do this?
So I'm going to give you very clear instructions for this. I want you to, and I don't know if you're in a lockdown right now, you can even do it at home, but ideally, I would like you to step out and go into nature, go into a forest, go into a clearing, go into a mountaintop, go to the ocean, go to a lake, go to any place you feel very connected to nature. I want you to be just by yourself. And in that place, which is inspiring to you, and if you're in a lockdown situation, then in your mind, you go to that place. And in that place that's inspiring to you, I want you to invoke whatever for you is the highest. God is highest for you, existence is highest for you, universe is highest for you, truth is highest for you, energy is highest for you. Whatever for you is the highest, the purest, the truth, the absolute. And you invoke that and you say, I give you my life. I give you my life. Take over. Take over. And from that moment onward, if you are sincere, from that moment onwards, a larger organizing principle steps in. and things start happening. People start showing up, books start showing up, events start showing up, coincidences start happening, your life starts lining up. You see, what brought you here will take you home. How come you're here? How come you're in this human body? How come you're in a masculine or feminine body? How come you're this age? How come you've had those kind of parents and those kind of that kind of education? How come you're in that particular city? There is a deeper reason. And there is no mistake in this universe. Not a single blade of grass is growing in the wrong spot. Not a single atom is in the wrong place. And so for this, instead of overthinking it, you got to step out and realize that you are here, you're part of a larger pattern, and you have a role to play. But not the role that you were conditioned to play. Not the role that your school taught you, or your college taught you, or your parents taught you, with all their good wishes. Your parents don't know this. And even you don't know this, you got to come to an opening within you where this reveals itself. So invoke the highest and say, I give you this life. Use me. And your talents, your skills, your personality, exactly the way it is, will be used in a most amazing, beautiful, wondrous way. And you will literally feel that, life is living through you. It's not you are living this life. Life is living through you. Life is fulfilling and completing itself. Just enjoy the show. Enjoy the journey. That's what I like to say to you.
Thank you. One person asked, let life happen to you versus create your life. How do you do the later?
Yeah, do both. Let's not deny anything. So you reach out as far as you can. Have you seen that famous painting of Michelangelo, where what is it? Where David? He's reaching out to God, and God's about to touch his finger. What's that famous painting? So you reach out as far as you can from your side, and let existence do the rest. There's a lovely teaching that this nature, or you could say God or nature, it loves audacity. It loves courage. It loves those of us who reach out into the so-called impossible. And we are gutsy, and we take risks, and we expand ourselves, and we step out of our comfort zone, and we take on projects that don't seem to be destined to fail. And we just go ahead and we follow the impulse within us. And we go ahead and expand in that way. And you take one step. My teacher would tell me, you take one step, life will take 100 steps. So yes, both are important. You create the life, you have the intention, you make the intention, whatever you can best imagine for yourself, for your health, for your relationships, for everything. You imagine the best that you can, and then you say, this or something better will happen. And you trust that there's a larger intelligence, that not everything you want will be given to you. Because something that you want are actually immature. They're not really best for you. Something better is going to come along. So I do my best and I leave the rest. So both are important. So you can also have an intention for life, and you can also allow life to live through you, as long as we have a sense of doership. Let us, with all the sincerity, with the best values that we know, with the best way that we know, the most skillful way that we know, let us think and speak and act in the best way that we know how. Right. And at some point, that sense of doership also dissolves, and life takes over, and life does what it needs to do. There is this a little funny quote. I think it was Mark Twain, and he gave a talk somewhere. And somebody said, that was a fantastic talk. He said, which talk? The talk you just gave. There were 3 talks. There was the talk I planned to give. There was the talk that I have just given. And then there is the talk that I think I should have given. So we're always in the state of being perplexed. What I should do, what I am doing, what I could do. You step out of this. And you have a sense that everything is happening the way it should. Everything is in place. Nothing is out of order. Every atom of this universe is exactly where it needs to be. That sense of alignment, that sense of non-resistance, and the phrase I shared with you today, amor fati, to love your fate. So when there's doership, use the doership in the best possible way. And when there's no doership, so you have intention and you have non-intention. First we live from intention, then we live from non-intention. Life takes over.
So another person asked, if you do things with loving intention, and what if that's not reciprocated back to the individuals that you were sending that loving intention to? So how do you deal with that?
If you do it correctly, the very act of doing it is reward in itself. I used to go and teach in a hostel. I used to teach English in this hostel. This is a hostel of rural kids who'd come to Pune, the city I live in, to study. And they're very bright kids, very sincere kids, but their English is not so good. So I made the effort to go there, and I would go there twice a week, and I would share with them English. I would just teach them. I was not paid for it, nothing. And that was so fulfilling in itself. The fact that I was making that effort to go and do something selflessly for somebody else. It was so fulfilling. It was the high point of my week. It made, one of the reasons I feel I'm a reasonably good teacher is because I've done so much selfless teaching. I've just not thought about the return. I've just gone ahead and done it. And so people tell me that, oh, that touched me, that touched me. So it came from this selflessness. Now, some students would come regularly, some would not come regularly. They were not very good at necessarily praising me or appreciating me. That was all right. So, you do, this is one of the main teachings of our Indian tradition. Karam kar, phal ki ichha mat kar. You do the best and you leave the rest. You do your bit. There's a very powerful analogy given in the Tibetan tradition of the Buddha is like a mother who has lost her child in a river. So this child is in a cradle, and the child is being carried by the current of the river. And the Buddha is running after the child, trying to rescue the child. This Buddha has got no hands. So all the Buddha can do is run as fast as he or she can, running behind the child that's being carried away by the river. Waiting for what? Waiting for the child to catch hold of the mother. Waiting for the child to catch hold of the Buddha. This image is so powerful. A mother running after her child in the river. The child is being carried away by the current. The mother's got no hands. The mother can't grab. The child has to grab. I find this a very, very powerful image. So we have to be like that mother. We have to go ahead and from our side do our absolute best. But you cannot, they say you can take the horse to water, you can't make the horse drink water, right? So you can just do your best and then you leave the rest at the right time, when they mature, when they understand, when they sense, when they recognize the purity of your intention. Then if it's meant to be, then they'll reciprocate or not. There was a family that went to a beach. They were really enjoying this beach. They had two little kids. Kids were running around. And an old lady wearing kind of shabby clothes was doing something, picking up something here, picking up something there. And as she came close to the kids, she gave a beautiful smile. Although she had no teeth, she smiled. And the mother was concerned. Kids, come back here, come back here. Call the kids back. On the way out, they told the security guard there, why do you allow such people on the beach? Why do you allow such trashy people on the beach? The person said, that woman comes here every day. And all she does is pick up pieces of glass so children don't get hurt. You see? So they had judged this woman so strongly. They thought that she was some kind of a miscreant or someone who didn't belong on the beach. She just came on the beach every single day to pick up glass pieces, sharp pieces, so children's feet don't get hurt. But they had judged her. But that's all right. She's going to do it anyway. So can we be like that? Can we have that attitude of the Buddha? Can we have that attitude of that woman who was just there to give? And now whether people appreciate us or not, misunderstand us or not, that's on them. Let's not worry about that. Our very act of doing it is fulfillment enough.
Someone has asked, and it's related to a relationship, that is it okay to have needs in a relationship? And how do you work on your mindset if you feel that your needs are being met in that relationship?
Yeah, so express your needs and have clear communication. There's a lovely teaching, you can look it up, called nonviolent communication. It teaches us how to express our needs without activating other people's egos. It's a very powerful teaching. Can I express my needs? When you do this, it impacts me in this way. And my request is this. So nowhere in this is you're such a terrible person, how mean you are, how insensitive you are, how inconsiderate you are. When you speak like that, people's defense mechanisms go up. They stop listening to you. And their defensiveness goes up. But when you share, that this is what, and at the right time, in the right place, in the right way, you learn to communicate your needs. And more and more, you will find that, yes, we do have needs in our relationship, but it can be done in a reciprocal way. And if you're more proactive, whatever needs of yours you can meet on your own, and whatever you can help other people meet their needs, and you're loving in that way, you're tuned into them, chances are it creates the right atmosphere in the family. And they're also willing to give back. And if truly it's really so bad that the other person just doesn't care about your needs, then you may want to reevaluate this relationship. Is it really healthy for you to be? Not? We are not always meant to be with the same people our whole life. If we're not growing and they're not growing with us, if we're not able to listen to each other, understand each other, if we don't have a growth mindset, if we're not willing to be empathetic towards each other, then we should really reconsider, why are we in this relationship to begin with? Is it just a habit? What's going on over here? So I think we should also be willing to ask tough questions, and we should be willing to create clear boundaries when required. You know, I am everything and I am nothing, and I'm also something. I'm everybody, I'm nobody, and I'm also a somebody. I have to respect all these three truths of life. So when it's appropriate, I should be able to create boundaries. When appropriate, I should be able to affirm and assert myself. It's all needed, it's all healthy. All right. So like this, love does not mean I become like a vegetable. Everyone comes and takes whatever. Sometimes love also means standing up for myself and saying, no, that doesn't work. If that's the way you want to behave, then I wish you well, and I cannot continue in this way anymore. And that skill will also come into our life. It's really beautiful. This whole, everything we're learning today, it's really an intelligence. We invite this intelligence of love, of compassion, of appreciative joy. Somebody was asking about mudita. How do you explain mudita? Rejoicing in the happiness of others. Your happiness is my happiness. Appreciative joy. And there's so much to rejoice. People have such amazing qualities. The guru is someone who sees the God in you. The friend is someone who sees the best in you. Right? So mudita is seeing this amazing abundance of good qualities and good fortune, and seeing that and appreciating that. That's mudita. These are all intelligences that arise within us, and they take over our life, and we have a higher quality of life. All right. Are we coming to the end of our time? How are we doing?
Yeah. Oh, we're doing good. Somebody asked about literature. If there's any tidbits on what you think we can look into to learn more, or maybe more about your sessions and stuff like that. If you have something to share with the audience.
I've really enjoyed the teachings of Byron Katie. You can look her up. She invites us to question our own thinking. Byron Katie has a book called Loving What Is. Another very good book of hers is called 1,000 Names for Joy. And I like to read this book, 1,000 Names for Joy, in conjunction with another book, the Tao Te Ching. And there are many translations. My favorite translation is by Stephen Michel, who actually is a co-author with Byron Katie in the other book. So Tao Te Ching, which is written as Tao Te Ching, Taoteching, by Stephen Michel, and 1,000 Names for Joy. I find these two books go really well together. Another book I always recommend is Who Ordered This Truckload of Dung by Ajahn Brahm. It's a book of stories. Also check out Ajahn Brahm, Ajahn. I can type it out perhaps. Ajahn, Ajahn, Brahm. Look up Ajahn Brahm on YouTube. He has fantastic talks. If you like my session today, you will even more enjoy Ajahn Brahm's session. He's really fantastic. Tells so many stories. Such a great teacher. So hundreds of talks of his on YouTube, and you'll love those talks. So check out Ajahn Brahm. Check out Byron Katie, Byron Katie. Tao Te Ching. It's pronounced as. If you go to my website nityashanti.com, I've recommended many books there. Just search for the recommended reading list. The main thing is to learn from your own life, your own experience. So there are endless books. Let's not get lost in books. It's good to have books. You know, there was a Zen master who came to the London Buddhist Center. He hardly spoke any English, but people were all impressed with his wisdom. People were translating for him. So when he was leaving, someone said, "Can you give us one last piece of advice?" So London Buddhist Center was full of these. They had a large library. The whole wall was covered with books. So bringing together all his English knowledge, this Japanese teacher looked at the wall of books and he said, "Books, books, books. Too many, too many, too many. Dustbin, dustbin, dustbin." So books are great, but beyond a point, they actually cloud our understanding. They limit us. Come back to the book of life. Read your own heart and learn from every experience you're having. Your own life is the best book you can have. And with that, we can now conclude today's session. Shelly, please take over.
Sure, thank you. Thank you so much, Nityaji, for sharing your pearls of wisdom with us and opening all of our hearts up with all these wonderful practices. I'm sure we have a lot to soak in and take in. And I know somebody asked if you could send an audio recording of the 4 Brahma Viharis. Maybe that would be nice. We will be sharing a recording of the whole session with everyone. So hopefully you can access it from there as well. And we will have a 3rd session and our last and final session the next week, same time on Wednesday. And it will be our last session, and it will be focused on transformation. So I think we have a lot to soak in to practice so that we can share our journeys with you next week. So thank you to all for being with us. And thank you, Nitya Shanti Ji.
Yes, and I have before you go, a little homework that between now and the next week, those of you who are joining, just bring up some anecdotes of how these learnings, these practices have created a transformation, even a tiny transformation, that you were a little bit more patient, a little less irritable. You woke up in a better state of mind. Where you could have been reactive, you were more responsive. So we're going to discuss transformation in our next call, and I'd love to get examples from all of you, and for it to be a more interactive session with anecdotes of how what you've been learning here and internalizing, how it's changing and raising the quality of your life. Thank you, and let's meet you all next week.
Thank you from heart to heart, and from all the children of the world, we thank you, and infinite blessings to all. Thank you. Zapping everyone here, so bye.
Take care, everybody. Take care. Goodbye.